Today I finished the rigging of the final character with all of the clothes attached. First, I transferred the rig data from the full body character to the separate face mesh of the character. To do that, I added a data transfer modifier to the face mesh and chose the full body character as the target, since that mesh already had the weights from yesterday's video. Then, I enabled the vertex data option and selected vertex groups. After that, I parented the face to the rig by first selecting the face, then the rig, pressing Ctrl+P and choosing with empty groups. Then I applied the data transfer modifier, and with that, the weights from the full body were transferred to the separate face mesh. I repeated pretty much this exact same process for all the other body pieces as well. Then I connected the textures from Substance Painter inside Blender so I could get a better overall feel for the character. The way to connect the textures is like this. First, select the piece you want to texture, in this case the face, and go to the shading workspace. Then drag and drop the texture files into the shader editor. First, you connect the base color map directly into the base color input, which is the simple part. For the metallic, ambient occlusion, and roughness map, you need to change the color space to linear rec. Then you add a separate XYZ node and connect the channels you need. I connected the Y channel to roughness and the X channel to metallic. Since this texture stores multiple types of information, you need that extra node to split them properly. For the normal map, you also need to change the color space to linear rec. Then I added an RGB curves node, selected the green channel, and changed the curve to inverted. That basically fixes the normal map so it works correctly inside Blender. After that, I added a normal map node and connected it to the principled BSDF shader. You need to repeat this process for every texture set, and that's exactly what I did. After that, I switched to material preview mode, so I could actually see all the textures working inside Blender. For the hanging pieces, like the bags, I used a slightly different method. I added a single bone, parented that bone to the main rig with empty groups, and then selected the rig and the bag, pressed Ctrl+Tab to go into weight paint mode, and painted that bag fully red so it only follows that one bone. Since the bag is not supposed to deform at all, this is a really clean way to handle pieces like that. So if you have hanging objects that need to be rigged, this is a very useful method. And with that, the rigging was finally done. In the next video, I'll pose the character and hopefully finish this whole project with a proper beauty render. Hope to see you there.